Hey, DMA students, we're going to cover how to do your side of the medallion. So you should import this file from Google Classroom, and now we're going to teach you how to start by importing your Illustrator SVG and then going to the 3D printing process. So let's go and get started. First, we're going to go to Create, SVG. You're going to click on the Import button, and then you're going to click on the SVG file that you want to engrave. You can see here is mine. We can do some quick hygiene right here by setting the pivot, cleaning it up, and clearing history and freezing transformations. Just do a quick rotation here. I'm going to rotate it along the x-axis to make it look downward, or negative 90. I think it's negative 90. There we go, negative 90. And then I need to flip it 180 to make sure that it's upside down. So I have to go on the blue axis, which is the z-axis here, 180 degrees. Let's go ahead and kind of center this thing. And we'll do some manual centering a little bit later. So now you can see right here that it's on the bottom. I'm going to scale it down. Okay, let's go ahead and use our perspective view here. Got to see what it looks like. So you can see here that it's not in the quite right place yet. Let's go ahead and move it up just a little here. There we go. So let's say that this is perfectly centered. I'm not sure that it really is, but let's just say that it is. Okay, now we want to do, before we start creating the Boolean and creating the infill text layer, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that this thing is aligned. We're going to right-click, go to vertex mode, left-click and drag all these vertices. Make sure that your camera-based selection is off. Use the scaling tool, scale everything in, then hit W with snap to grid on. Go ahead and move it a few times, making sure that it's nice and flat and on a whole number. Do the same thing with the bottom. Grab all the bottom vertices, scale inward, hit W, snap to grid it, get it to be nice and flat there. Let's go back to the object mode. And now what I want to do is move this thing, which should be 4 units in thickness, 1 unit in thickness inward to create the Boolean. So this is how deep I'm going to engrave into the medallion. So before I do the Boolean, I'm going to actually create a duplicate of it real quick so that this will be used for the Boolean and this will be used for the infill. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the medallion, click on the engraving Boolean object, go under Mesh, Boolean A minus B. That should create the new medallion. So I'm going to hide the old medallion here and hide the mesh I used to create the Boolean. And now you see the engraving that I did. Let's go ahead and hide the infill real quick too. So now you can see that, yeah, it is engraved, right? There's a hole there. So now let's go ahead and turn this SVG mesh into 1 unit in thickness and place it right on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and just go to vertex mode, grab all of these vertices on the top. Again, I'm going to just make sure they're realigned. Hit W, move it down to 1 unit. Grab these 4, hit R, scale it down. Go back to my object mode and place it right in here. Now, if you need to move the pivot to the bottom, you can do that as well, but the point is to move it exactly 1 unit in thickness in here. And now we have all 3 layers, top infill, medallion, and bottom infill. Let's go ahead and rename these real quickly. This will be my new medallion. And this one will be my bottom infill. Each one of these has to be imported individually as their own STL. So I'm going to go to File, Export Selection as an STL. I'm going to go ahead and do it in the Documents folder. I'll just call it Test Top. I'm going to go to this one right here. Again, Export Selection as an XTL export. Let's call it the medallion, or test medallion. And then go to the bottom infill, export selection, call it the test bottom. Okay, now that you have all 3 objects as a STL export, we're going to go ahead and open up Idea Maker. And we're going to import all 3 models. You can hold shift, do it all at once. Do not scale it up, just hit no for now. So you should see all 3 objects inside your project. I'm going to click on all 3 objects by holding shift. I'm going to right click, align them all. That should align them. Now let's go ahead and scale it up. While I have all 3 selected, I'm going to scale using world transform. And you're going to look for the second biggest number, which is the X. Turn it back to centimeters real quick. And we're going to do 75 millimeters. Okay. And now we're going to rotate this thing so that it lays flat. I think it's rotate this direction. And now we're going to go and choose our extruder. So for the top, you're going to go to view here. You're going to choose the right extruder, which should be blue. For the medallion itself, you're going to go to here and you're going to choose the left extruder. And then for the top, you're going to choose back to the right extruder. So it's kind of weird because everything looks weird right now, but if you just left click outside of it, why is my medallion the right extruder? It should be left extruder. Okay. Is my left extruder, it should be white. This should be my left extruder, which is blue. My top extruder is this, or my top and my bottom should be right. Okay. All right. Let me just get out of the view mode. And let's go ahead and pan our view here. I don't know why this is, do I not have things labeled correctly? Test bottom should be under view, the right extruder. The test medallion, okay, I think I have things named incorrectly here. Let's double check real quick. So here's my middle medallion. Let me move it real quick. I have a feeling, yeah, I mislabeled it. So this is actually supposed to be, I'll Control Z that. That's supposed to be the right one. So don't do like I did. That's going to be right extruder. And then the test top, I assume, test bottom is the big one. So that one should be actually the left, and everything else should be right. Okay, so there we go. Now it's correct. So here, I'll left click out. It just go ahead and alt right click drag. Double check that everything is looking the way it's supposed to. Go to your print settings. Make sure that you use the same thing that I use online, that I posted online. We're going to use the high quality template with a bunch of things added, including a wipe tower. Go ahead and hit the slice button. Once it's done slicing, we're going to do a quick preview. Your cost should be around $1.20 something. Do a quick preview here, make sure that everything looks good. Go to extrude color, go ahead and scrub through here and make sure that everything is what it's supposed to be. That looks good. Then you're going to export to local disk. You're going to export your G code, put your name on it. So this is win test, G code, put it into your documents folder or whatever. Then move that photo from your documents folder to the USB drive, put it into the printer and print. I'll see you guys in the next video.